then let's expand on that concept to say then we need to prepare. How do we integrate AI with creativity for the app?
Thank you.
Take advantage of needing ownership.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So what AI actually does is it reduces research time, right? That's what it does. That for me, that's what I use it for, right? If I need a draft of a document, because a draft of a document can be a template, I don't have to go to Google and search for it. I ask AI to give me 3 different versions based on 3 different environments, creative environments. Give me one, a contract, a basic contract for an artist. Give me one from Europe. Give me one from the US. Give me one from Australia. In seconds, I have them, right? And I tell AI now, based on these 3, give me another contract that focuses on the strengths of my client. Right? And then I get my first draft, which is an amalgamation of those 3. And then I take it to a lawyer and I say, okay, can you turn this into something that will fit in the legal space that we're in Botswana? Oh, actually, you've done most of the work. You just need to add this, change this, do that. Yeah. And all of that is done if you have these guys on email, on WhatsApp, in less than 30 minutes, you have a working document that will ensure that regardless of where you are in the world, when you give this contract, your artist benefits.
And you've done the background would understand the options.
Yes, you see. So that's, for me, that's what AI does. It just reduces that time.
Yeah.
Right. And we should use it as such. You can use AI to look at what sounds are most prevalent in different areas of the world today. Right? You can do that. That gives you an idea to say, okay, in my library of music that is unreleased, what do I need to put together and where do I need to send it?
Talking about the global stage, and I think this one is there's a little bit of a tension there when it comes to artists. I am trying to be locally relevant because I grew up in Botswana or wherever it is that you're from, but I want to be globally relevant in terms of I want to monetize at that level. I want to appeal to different audiences. Where do I need to play without losing myself and get the commercial value of being on the global stage?
I always say this. Think global, act local.
Yeah.
Okay? So your product, even this, anyone in the world can relate to it. Right? Anyone in the world can relate to it. Anyone can relate to this conversation. Anyone can relate to your style of speaking and moderation. Anyone, regardless of their color. Right? But you are here. Right? You're here. So the constraints that come from being in this locale is what you have to deal with. Right? But when the product is out, it's out to a global audience. So for me, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Just in terms of the physical, in terms of the real, dial it down. Focus on the product.
Yeah. I think then there's a challenge of monetization, and I want to move from that appeal to a global audience, but also monetizing a global audience.
That's not your job. That's not your job. There's a beautiful story. I don't know if you've seen this documentary, Searching for Sugar Man. So there's this artist called, I think it's called Rodriguez, and Rodriguez, I believe, was based in the U.S. Just small-time artist, was trying to get out there, released songs. I think it was in the 70s, 80s. I don't quite remember, and eventually, he faded. He didn't really break out like he had hoped, and he faded. And then apparently this guy blew up in South Africa.
Yeah.
I think it was the 80s or 90s or something, and he had no idea. This guy blew up, and these 2 guys, I think from South Africa, or these 2 guys went searching for this guy to say, does he know the impact he had in South Africa, and then they found him. This dude was just a regular guy, and no idea he hadn't released music in years. And they took him to SA to perform, and he performed to thousands of people in South Africa. You see what I mean? Yeah. So you don't know your reach. Yeah. You will never know your reach. That is not your job. Don't worry about something that hasn't happened yet, especially if you don't even have a product out. How are you worried about monetizing something that doesn't exist? Yeah. How are you worried about monetizing something that you haven't put out? It's still in your hard drive and you're thinking, how am I going to make money from it? It's not it. Like a million times zero is zero. Yeah. And zero is your product. If you have one product, right? That product has a potential to make 1 million pula. If you have no product, so it doesn't matter.
Then I think there's a mistake that artists are doing where they're creating for audiences rather than creating for the sake of creativity. And I think
that's right. So if you want to be a generic artist, right? Create as much as you can based on templates, work as much as you can to put all that generic stuff out, and don't complain about the tebes that you get, because that's the road you chose. Yeah. And nobody will ever blame you for it, but just be outward about it. Don't try and be a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman when you came out to really just create templates of other things, and to make a little bit of money for it. But if you want to create based on your soul and your state of mind and how you feel, and if you want to create chaos, if you want to be a creator, then don't get it twisted, because also there's, unfortunately, chaos, when forced into order, will eat itself. Yeah.
So then the governments, and I think a lot of governments are doing this in Africa, in the journey of protecting the artist or the creative space, they are fighting for monetization of platforms so that the local artists can start to receive earnings out of their creativity. And this is YouTube, but TikTok. Are they playing in the wrong space then?
Yes, because YouTube doesn't care about your artist as a government. Yeah. They only care about YouTube and how many more people they can show their ads to. Because remember, YouTube does not exist to show your art to the world. YouTube exists to sell ads. That's what they do.
Yeah. So then as a creative consultant, that means who you partner with as an artist becomes important. Someone who's able to help you build this, understand the system, build the connections and relationship, and scale it beyond a certain location becomes then how we access it.
So here's what I do. Yeah. I don't partner with artists. Okay. I partner with systems. Okay? Because my job is to ensure that a global system, a continental system, right, a regional system fits the artist that is here. Yeah. Right? So if, for example, a South African company wants to do a campaign in Botswana, right, and they've asked me, we need a Botswana artist that has more than 10 million views on YouTube. I'm like, hold on.
To an audience.
Exactly, because they just want eyes. Yeah. So they're looking at their market and they're saying, okay, we have a potential to reach a new country, but the prerequisites are still based on our market. I'm like, no. You have to scale it down. Look at our population. Look at our urban population. Yeah. Look at the segment in our urban population that fits what you want. And then and then create a constant based on that. Yeah. And then divide your numbers by that constant. And then you'll get a proportional amount of eyes that will fit. And what that does also, it affects your budget. You see, because now, as an international South African company that will spend 500,000 rands for the campaign, you say, actually, let's divide by this number. Oh yeah, actually, we can actually just spend 50,000 rands. Yes. And we don't need 10 cameras, we only need 2. Exactly. So that's my job. Because most of these guys, they don't have the time to do all that research.
Yeah.
But if I've done that research, I tell them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're like, oh, okay. So we don't have to send our global head of marketing to Botswana. We can send our head of marketing in South Africa. Yes. Or we don't have to fly the entire team to Botswana. We can hire a combi and just drive because it's 5 hours away. Yes. Oh, okay. That puts things into perspective. Let's do that instead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to just layman. I would like to think not a lot of people then know how to connect with a creative consultant. How do I find an Eddie? Where to await my spot so that I can be protected, so I can access the funders and sponsors that you have access to.
You can't.
Hi. Because this being, where does the creative artist? Because you know what, I don't think ever, and I've been to your place because in my other life I'm a corporate. It's not natural for me to go to Open Voices and sit down there. It's not my comfort zone. I want something that's curated already and polished and delivered. I want to say I've got an event and I want a prepped, ready artist already there. And also as an artist who's starting out, you are saying, you know what, they see themselves on the stage already. They don't know these steps. So I want you to advise somebody who's starting out, both the corporate and the creative. This is the journey. Consider these things as you are trying to build a system, grow, build discipline, so that you can reach this point where you can be in your comfort zone of being a creative and creating things, but there's somebody who's helping monetize and reach the audiences that can benefit both of these two parts.
So here's the thing. One, comfort is stagnation.
Yeah.
Sadly. When you're comfortable, right? You're not able to see the points that cause you to progress. You're just okay where you are. You're like, okay, this is me. I can see the four walls around me. I'm okay right here. There's no progression in comfort. Discomfort allows you to push through, to see the potential of where you could get as you move. Because remember, time is not static. Or as some people say, our perception of time is static, right? Because we're here now. But the reality is time is eternal.
Yeah.
It moves regardless. And if you are stuck in one place, time passes you by. That's the term we use. Yeah. When we have that, when we take that that snapshot in a specific point, you will not be there. And when you look at that snapshot, which is very weird, and you don't see yourself there, it's too late. Now you have to play catch up. And playing catch up, you never do catch up actually, right? There's always movement. It's always dynamic. Yeah. Because also that movement is not happening in a singular manner. There's other forces that are playing a role. Okay? So the artist needs to appreciate the journey. Yeah. Okay? They need to appreciate the journey. That is, you start somewhere. And this is why my passion is to create these small spaces that allow artists to start. Okay? You start somewhere and you progress. Yeah. And you progress to a point where you're a national artist, you're a regional artist, you're a continental artist. Okay? Progression. But if you don't have that starting point, you're in trouble. It's either you blow up, right? You're put on a pedestal, but you're standing literally on a tiny little on a toothpick. Yeah. And once the person just flicks it, you crumble. Yeah. That's one side, the artist side. So focus on the journey, because that journey, one, you're creating a story. There's an amazing documentary on Kanye West called Genius, where you can trace where he started and how he progressed to being the global artist that he became, right? The constant in his story was his creative nature. And you're able to trace that. And that's what adds to the value that he is as a creator. Okay? So that's one. Yeah. On the corporate side, you're a human being with emotions. You're not a robot. Unfortunately for corporates, if they're not careful, they're gonna be replaced by AI. Because remember prompts. If you are stuck in structure, we realize that, oh, okay, so we can enter this into a computer, and the computer can actually pick us the best possible artist for any event, based on these factors or these variables. And actually, the computer, if we base it purely on structure, the computer will do a better job than the person. It doesn't deviate. It'll give you, if audience size 10,000, budget this much, theme this. If you have those points, the AI will give you a pinpoint, accurate response. Of course, the person still needs to show up. Yeah. You still need to sell tickets. You still have to have the event itself. You still need to hope that the elements work in your favor, right? But at that point of picking the artist, the AI will do the job, right? I say this for our corporates. You're a human being with emotions. Look for the X factor. Because if it makes you feel a certain way, in the corporate world, where uniformity is pretty much key, those other people in there will feel the same way. Yeah. And this is why every record label has someone called an A&R, artist and repertoire. Yeah. These guys go into the communities to look for talent, raw talent that make them feel a certain way, the X factor, the potential. Take this talent, take it to the boardroom. Because they know that if I feel this way, my bosses will feel the same way. Yeah. And then when they get into the boardroom, then they take advantage of the artist and make millions. Unfortunately. So if, as a marketing manager, if you can't do that because of your schedule and all of those things, get a street team whose job it is to bring you raw talent. All you have to do is take the time to listen. You can get guys with cell phones and just record the person singing. They send it to you via WhatsApp. You see, oh my goodness, she's got a voice. Okay, cool, we can work with that. Yeah. And what that does as well, it allows you to not always have to spend millions for a regional artist. Now you also have a local pool that you can pick from. And if you attach a little bit, now I'm giving state secrets. If you attach a little bit of CSR to that, to say, well, now we've got a mini residency program where we're building artists. You have someone attached to yourself that you can build into a brand that you can then support. And you are the prime, you get first dibs, basically, right? Before they go and perform somewhere, they come and talk to you first, say, and this applies not just to companies, it applies to restaurants, even government. It applies to government as well. In South Africa, the government spends millions building artists. You know why? Because they know that when it's time for government-based activities, and these guys will not charge there. Because they know that, these guys gave me 200K last year. They're calling me to come and perform for this community. You know what, let me just go.
And this is my advertising path.
So you know what that is? You know what you just did? Yeah. That's systems thinking. Yeah. You see? You've taken this, you've added there, you've seen the potential there, and like, I get to, no, I'm there. I'm gonna perform for free. Government is footing the bill for my accommodation, my transport, my tech ride and everything. And I'm not getting charged, it's fine. I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna perform all my new songs. Yeah. Once I'm done, these guys are gonna go to Spotify or they're gonna go to radio and request my songs.
I want to talk about festivals, events, festivals, and the sustainability of it, because especially in Botswana, and I'd like to think this is not unique to Botswana. Since COVID really impacted festivals because at some point we could not go out and had to be more digital. And then the industry started to recover a little bit, but for Botswana especially, it never fully recovered. It almost feels like it's waking up now. But there is then things that have changed, and you have to consider local talent versus regional and international talent so that you appeal to the audience. And in there, we are struggling to build a sustainable festival industry. So I want us to talk about that. What do we need to do as Botswana, as Africans, to build a more sustainable festival space?
You've heard of MTN bushfire?
Yes.
Where does it take place?
In Swaziland?
How many? What's the population of Swaziland?
It's like almost 2 million, almost
Right?
our population.
It's a tiny little thing. It's inside South Africa.
Yeah.
But these guys have managed to create a global festival, right? Which every year, actually not even every year, continuously MTN puts money into.
Yeah.
Right? And how do they do that? They throw away the rule book. That's what you have to do. You have to take risks. You have to throw away the rule book. If you meet the guy who created that festival, you can pass him in the streets and not know who he is. Someone literally needs to tell you, okay, so that's the guy who started MTN Bushfire. You see what I mean?
And it's beyond the festival now. There's hospitality, there's tourism, there's so many.
And you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
I think it was in 2022, we had that conversation because initially, and again, it's another secret. Initially, they were not dealing with hospitality.
Yeah.
Right? And I told him, I said, listen, if you want to appeal to a certain crowd that is really at a certain level, you have to include that. Because your festival is dope. It's at a certain standard. But a lot of people are not coming because when they hear the accounts of people who got to Eswatini and they couldn't find accommodation, or the accommodation was really horrible, when they hear the accounts, they don't really want to commit. So I told him, you have to partner with establishments, with even just houses, and help them raise the standard a little bit to appeal to a certain amount of people, a certain amount of people, a certain caliber of individual, right? And then you attach it to yourselves. So it's an extension of who you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's bushfire.
Yes.
Right? These are guys.
But it's a model that we can benchmark onto.
Yes. Right. Yeah. These are the benchmarking is this. These guys they started something, right? And they focused on building something that the region, that the continent could relate to. Right?
Yeah.
When the challenges came, it was good challenges because you have people who want to come but are not able to come because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know where we need to improve. The problem with us is we want to build a bushfire.
Yeah.
You don't even have the potential population, the potential clientele. You don't have that. If I ask someone, okay, so who's your target market? Who are you doing this for? Everyone. That's not a response.
Yeah.
That's not a response because we have different tastes. You have to know who you're doing this for.
Yeah.
But you want me and my company to commit X hundred thousands to something where when I ask you a simple question, you tell me everyone.
And I don't know how I'm going to leverage my brand off of the mass.
Not even mass, off of nothing, because everyone
because you haven't defined it.
You haven't defined it. Thank you very much. You see the discrepancy.
Yes.
So if you have an event and 2 people show up and you know why they showed up, that's your audience. You can define there.
Yeah.
And these 2 people, if you keep doing the same thing and tweaking here and there, those 2 people will turn to 5. That's how things work.
Yeah.
No one started a festival with 10,000 people.
I think that's where we put pressure on ourselves.
Yes.
We want to be at.
But you see,
higher level.
It's the same thing of the artist who's told, you have a nice voice, and all of a sudden they're Beyonce. It's the same thing. You see a bushfire, you have a little bit of network, you have a little bit of pull, and you think within 3 months, I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Why? Because, oh, in Botswana, we have a lot of money. Yes, we do have a lot of money, but the prerequisites stay the same. And that's why you'll find here, you start something this year, you have 2,000 people. Next year, you have 500 people. And then you have 300.
Yeah.
And then, I know this year we're going to skip a year.
Yeah.
And then it never comes back.
Yeah.
You see, but the person who knows, I have a friend in South Africa. He has a hip hop festival. He knows his core crowd.
Yeah.
And this year he created another festival. So now he has a festival for the beginning of the year, which is locally oriented, local artists only, and he has a festival for the end of the year, which is in his 18th edition, if not 21st actually, 20th or 21st edition of the festival every year, over 10,000 people, right?
Yeah.
The reason he's able to do this was because people were complaining to say, hey man, your main stage at your end of year festival, international artists and huge local artists, like the small medium artists is difficult. I said, okay, no, let me do something for you guys then, because he knows at the very least 5,000 people will show up at his. It's small numbers for him, but it's doable because he knows 5,000 by Botswana comparison, for example, 5,000 is no small feat. Yeah. So he built his audience. Actually, you could say he built a community, right? And regardless of what he does, that community shows up for him, and it leverages off of that to get funding, to get sponsorship.
I'm picking a theme of maybe there's a challenge in the thinking and we need to shift into systems thinking. What is the system that I can create here? And then how do I address problems within the system to create value throughout it?
Yeah, and problems and also opportunities elsewhere. You see, because once you create this community here, these guys need to be fed, right? The people who come internationally originally need to be housed. When the day of your event, you need to think about safety. You need to think about logistics. There's so much insurance, so much that comes into play. And those are not line items. Those are opportunities. Because all of these guys also have a chance to showcase their services to those people who are coming in. And that's how we need to think. It's not about, oh, let's deliver this festival to X amount. And again, I'm gonna tell you the reality of not thinking in opportunities. The reality is, if I have a money pit to a point where I can dedicate 2 million pula to a festival every year, I can do that. Yeah. And I can close it off. It's my product. I make the rules. The problem is the impact of that, the consequence of that is there's a distorted view of the eventing and festival space from an international perspective.
Yeah.
Because people will only see this thing and say, oh, you guys are good. I mean, you've got that.
Yeah.
But they don't know that here, there's nothing, and the game is rigged because this person has a perpetual money pit. They cannot, and it's not about, for them, it's not about profit.
I can think of a few festivals like that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and to fill that gap, you don't say we want to do a festival at the level of these guys, because you are fighting a wall, a brick wall. You will not win. You have to go around, look for this, look for that. But then they know, okay, next year repeat.
Yeah. And they book the system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, they haven't. Yeah. They've dedicated resources, money to that. If I go to ChatGPT and I say, how much does it take to build a festival for 2,000 people? Rough minus maybe 3 million pula. Finance manager, Is this a number that we can afford to lose every year, and maybe get a little bit of money in tax rebates from the taxman? Yes. Okay. Every year, make that available to the marketing team so that they can do the festival.
I want us to talk about a subject, and it impacts the creative industry, because whenever you see an artist pass away, there's always substance abuse linked to it somehow, whether they were coming from a festival and then an accident, or they overdosed or whatever. I've seen it over and over again. Why is it that this industry is so closely linked to substance abuse? What is the challenge, and why does it impact creativity? Creatives.
Okay. So remember chaos. The definition of chaos in itself is anarchy, because we're looking at it from a structured world. If you had gone to one of my events last year, you'd have seen complete and utter chaos. Chaos is walking into into a club full of Gen Zs, right? As a 45-year-old, you walk in there and you're like, your bones already start hurting, you know. So chaos needs to be channeled. And that's why, again, I go back to yin and yang. If you look at yin and yang, there's those two holes there. Right? It needs to be channeled. Right? You have to contain it. It has to exist in a certain world, so it's contained, right? And then we figure out how to chisel and channel it. That's why artists need teams. They need a regulator, someone who grounds them. And because remember, if your job as an artist is to create and to express, that's your job. Most of us have jobs, right? And we do this to kind of decompress a little bit, or depress or decompress, either one, right? We do that to kind of feel alive for those 2-3 hours, or right? But this person, this is their reality. So it's a complete pressure. And remember, this person needs to be at that level constantly, because it's booking, it's studio, it's writing. It's booking, and remember, writing as an artist, as a creator, is based on emotion. You're constantly in a heightened state.
Of chaos.
Yes, always. So it's either the chaos of people screaming at you, and then when you're done, you're doing this and you're doing that. You're not on the ground. You're always just up here. So when that happens, your body starts shutting down, basically, whether you like it or not. And either that happens, or the opposite happens, where you always constantly feel like you're falling, but you're never hitting the ground. So either if you're shutting down, you need to jumpstart yourself. You rely on and it starts with an energy drink usually, and then the energy drink is not enough, and you move on to the next and to the next. That's the one side. The other side is when you always feel like you're falling, then that's what anxiety feels like. Remember, you need to level out. Find a way to level out, and there's other substances that do that as well. Now imagine if, as a creator, your life is like this, like an oscilloscope. Ups and downs, and ups and downs, and ups and downs. Substance, 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 substance. It will never end well for you. And that's how you find some of the most creative artists that we have either are dealing with substance abuse or succumb to substance abuse. There's some who realize that, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. I need to do something. They create some form of a grounding mechanism, right? Or they make the ultimate sacrifice to say, you know what, I'm going to have my bouts of creativity, but I'm also going to have moments where I just focus on pushing the product. Because when it comes to pushing the product, you have to be level-headed. You have to know exactly what you're doing. You don't just rely on your team to do it. You're part of the team that does it. Yeah. And that allows you to kind of also come down to earth for a little bit before you go back in your cocoon or before you jump on stage and create more chaos. Yeah. So that's kind of the dynamic around that. And I would say this. Every artist has a community. They have an inner community and they have the greater community. As the inner community, our jobs is to tell that artist the truth. Don't just be a friend who's just there passive, enjoying the limelight, while your friend is suffering, but you're enjoying the limelight and you're getting a little something out of it. So, oh no, he'll be fine, he'll be okay. Rather lose the friendship knowing that you told this person the truth about the fact that they need to slow down or they need to take a break. Yeah. Actors have I know that most famous actors, right? They always have a moment, a period where they debrief between their projects, where they say, okay, you know what? In the next 3 months, my booking agent is reading. Yeah, he's reading the scripts and everything. We need to do the same thing as artists as well.
And I think by the inherent nature of creativity being chaos, like attracts like. So usually the community is not the healthiest. It's a symbiotic relationship that eats at a song.
Yes.
And it's a shame. But I think when we look at our conversation, there's challenges within the creative industry, but there's also a lot of opportunity. And maybe as we close up, from your perspective, who should take accountability of where we are, the state of the creative industry as it is now?
Everyone together. From the president to the bedroom singer.
In the shower.
Yeah, all of us. Because remember, without artistic expression, without that creative space, there's no feel, there's no emotion. And we live in a country where we actually right now we operate on feel and emotion. If you look at every major event that happens, it's always driven by feel, by emotion. And we're not rewarding our artists enough for that. We owe them a whole lot more, right, than we are giving them at the moment. Because Botswana, where it is now, is driven by artistic expression, whether it's content creators or whether it's Ezra Things or ATI. They are driving our country. Diamonds are not driving our country at the moment, right? So we all need to be accountable and to be very real and authentic about our accountability, right? And I think that will allow us to really appreciate our artists the right way.
Yeah. I'll close up with more personal questions when we're talking to Eddie. Through your work as a creative consultant, and your work in the creative space, what would you say you're most proud of?
Through my work as a creative consultant, I'm proud of the impact I'm making in South Africa at the moment. And it's really showing that it doesn't matter where you're from. You can add value in a metropolitan because your ideas are valued everywhere. Yeah. So I think last year I thought last year was a fluke, but it's repeating itself again this year at a higher level. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
And as a young artist coming into the industry, what would you want them to know that you may have learned a little bit later within your journey?
Start.
Just whether you're ready or not.
Yeah, start. It'll find you along the way. Yeah. Just start. I think I was blessed that even later in life, when I started, I had the support structure to allow me to fail, regroup, and keep going. Yeah. As a young artist, the support structure is already there. Yeah. Your parents are there, your family's there, right? So you can start, you can fail, you can go back, can talk, you can, and it allows your family to appreciate your output. So just start. Come to Open Voices and sing a song from the phone and move from there. Invite your parents to come and see you. And it starts there. Yeah.
And if you wanted people, my audience, to know one thing from Eddie Mihigo, what would that be?
Say hi to me, please.
He's not that scary.
No, I'm very approachable. If you say, people say I have a very nice smile, you know. Yeah. When I always say I have a Kanye West face. Yeah. So sometimes when I'm zoned out, usually if you see me quiet in the corner, I'm just zoned out thinking about something usually. Yeah. But let's talk. Let's have a conversation. I'm very approachable. We can talk about anything. I like talking to people. So please just say hi. That's my one thing I tell.
Thank you for all the work you're doing to shape and build and interpret for us this industry. We really appreciate you. And I hope people give you your flowers. I wish we could take these. But thank you.
It's the thought that counts.
To On-Brand Austria, and we look forward to another conversation because I think there's so much more we.
Yes, there is. And thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you. Awesome. Peace.